Alright, so when a character reaches a milestone to where basically I have movie-length content on them because of the hood rat shit they've either done in Goon series, Jobber series, or The Beef, I gotta throw the movie together. And that's what's happening today with the boy Deadpool. Currently I'm working on projects like Kenshiro Goon, Guts Goon, some Midnighter versus Kenshiro over on the coffee shop. Go check out my second channel. And I'm doing a whole bunch of fun shit, but if you want to see your favorite character on this channel or my other channel, it's only $25. I cut video prices in half. Hit me up on Discord. And if you want to see all the tier lists we do, all the stuff we talk about, join my server. It's free to join. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this movie on Deadpool. This is Deadpool basically beefing with everybody and trolling everybody for a movie length of time. I hope you guys enjoy this. And make sure to smash the like button. 400 or 500 likes, I'll drop another new movie. But thank you guys so much for watching. And without further ado, let's begin with the Deadpool Goon movie. Alright, so last night I said I was feeling negative, but I actually woke up today feeling amazing. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do Black Panther vs. Deadpool, one of the wildest beefs I've ever covered. I'm actually recording outside. It's beautiful outside today. And if you like content like this, if you want to see these two characters return, I believe they beef a few more times. Smash the like button, 500 likes, and they will return. Also, if you didn't see pre-retcon Beyonder vs. the Hood, check that shit out, blood, because it was crazy. But anyways, if you don't get the reference, definitely go watch that video. It's a god tier story. But yeah, this is covering Black Panther vs. Deadpool, literally a crossover event. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm not going to waste your time anymore. You've been waiting for a long time for this. That Hulk jobbing video will be out later. But yeah, let's get right to it. Without further ado, let's begin. So this story basically starts off with Black Panther exploring what it's like to be king and to take the throne. You see, the throne's changed for Wakanda back in his ancestors' time. And for reference, he is currently King of the Dead in the story, so he does have those powers. Just keep that in mind. His ancestors were isolated. They lived in their own area. They completely were disconnected from the outside world. It was a different ball game. Now, Black Panther, aka T'Challa, has to rule his throne differently because they're worldwide connected now. And then, we see a kind of a hint to the upcoming beef, and it's interesting. It's actually, I think, a little more deeper than you think. By the way, shout out to the art. The art is beautiful in this run. They're kind of shown as two sides of the coin, Black Panther and Deadpool, and a lot of that has to do with the difference between them and honor, which is a massive part of their beef, and this shit gets ridiculous. So let's continue. We pan over to T'Challa walking, and he's been asking his mom if he's a great king, and he's going around doing good king shit. Like, he's in the streets, walking around, comforting people. Like, he meets a child that's very emotional, and he comforts them. And overall, just being, a great leader and role model for the community. But of course, this happy, loving moment and this great kingship moment is ruined and interrupted by Deadpool. When he's like, yo, bitches, this is Black Panther versus Deadpool. Like, y'all need to tune into both sides, and my story is legit. And we see that at this current juncture, Deadpool's basically like beefing with Wrecker. Like, there's going to be an upcoming dispute between him and the Wrecker, who is not the most famous villain in Marvel, but he has been around for a while. So this is when we go completely over for a bit to Deadpool's story, right? And he's beefing with the Wrecker. He's pulling up on the Wrecker. They're getting into it. It's an intense chase and fight. He eventually gets, explosives out, and he handles his business. Bodies the Wrecker, right? And he gets his enchanted crowbar. Now, the funniest part about this was that Deadpool, when he got that shit, he's like, oh, look, an enchanted crowbar. this definitely won't be a plot fucking device later on in the story, which you'll see it does play into the story. But yeah, he got the drop on the wrecker, was bodying him. But unfortunately, when this occurred, all the explosions happened, he won, but the mailman, the sweet old mailman for the Fantastic Four, was struck by shrapnel and was near death's door. And at this point, Deadpool feels the need to be civically responsible, so this is killing him. He instantly grabs the old man and rushes him to the hospital. By the way, in the live chat down below, predict what leads to the beef between Deadpool and Panther, because I'm sure you don't know by now. It's getting kind of crazy, right? But predict real quick, because it's about to be revealed how the beef starts. Did you predict? W's in the chat if you did. But anyway, let's continue. So Deadpool takes him to the hospital. The hospital's like, yo, this shit's too close to his heart. We really can't save him. And Deadpool's like, dude, I'm civically responsible. There has to be a way you can save him. First of all, this fucking Marvel universe. There's got to be some crazy shit out here you can do. And one of the doctors goes, we could use Vibranium therapy. And Deadpool's like, what the fuck is that? And the doctor goes, well, first of all, we can't even do it unless we get a good size portion. I think it was like a bullet size, actually, of Vibranium. Then we can conduct the hypothetical experiments. And that's Deadpool, like, to her surprise, was like, oh, bet, bitch. Like, I know where there's a fuck ton of Vibranium. I'm pulling up on Wakanda. And this is where we see the beef start. First of all, keep in mind, Deadpool might get canceled in my live chat about 4 times throughout this video, but that's okay because it's Deadpool. He breaks into Wakanda instantly. Like, literally, that's fucking crazy because Wakanda's defense is wild. And he gets in there, and the guards bring him in. And when he sees T'Challa, he goes, yo, Hakuna Matata, my boy, what's up? And I was like, bro, you can't say that. But yeah, he said that to, first of all, I don't know, should we give him a point for that in the beef? I don't know, let me know in the live chat if he deserves a point for that. But he was like, yo, Hakuna Matata, my boy, I need some Vibranium. And then these two start going back and forth, right? And Deadpool's like, look, bro, I need my Vibranium. I got some shit to do. I only need a little piece. That's all I need. And Panther's like, no. Like, screw off. You're a horrible person. Like, I would never help you. You're, like, Deadpool, you're a piece of shit. And Deadpool is like, bro, first of all, just admit you're avoiding a classic Marvel team-up. And T'Challa's like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. And Deadpool's like, yeah, you do, bitch. This is supposed to be a team-up story. And T'Challa's like, stop. You're being crazy. Like, I'm not giving you shit. Get out of here. You are literally a horrible person. And this starts to trigger Deadpool. Deadpool's like, dude, shut up. I'm being civically responsible. I'm here because I'm trying to save the homie. Like, you're being a dick just because of who I was in the past. That's not fair to me, my boy. Like, I'm civically responsible. It's different now. And they get to arguing still. At this point, the argument gets so bad, Deadpool's like, you know what? Fuck it and fuck you. Sparks a brawl. They start brawling immediately. Shuri jumps in, which was kind of whack. Let the boys fight. She kind of jumps in for a little bit of a 2v1. And this star cell energy that they have, this like new tech, blasts Deadpool. So Panther drops him, right? I'm only going to give him half a win because he ran a 2v1. In my opinion, that doesn't really count much for a win. Let me know in the live chat. Do y'all count, how much of a win do y'all count that? I only count it as half a win because it's like, dude, you had the jump to kid. Like, that's not that big of a W. So when Deadpool got blasted, he lost his arm too, right? So he's got one arm at this point. It's not healing back. And he gets into a 1v1 brawl with one arm against Black Panther. It's fair this time. However, he gets shredded. Like, Black Panther beats the shit out of him. Of course, as you know, he just got blasted. So he was kind of off balance anyway going into it. But during this fight, like when the Star Cell mixes with Deadpool's healing factor, Panther's like, yo, you could low-key lead to medical breakthroughs if you were like a good person and did all this shit. And Deadpool's like, bro, stop gaslighting me, you bitch. And they keep fighting, but yeah, he got mauled in this exchange. So at this current juncture on the scoreboard, we have it 1.5 Black Panther to 0.5 Deadpool. Deadpool gets half a win because he broke into Wakanda and he said Hakuna Matata. That was funny as shit. I'm giving him a half a W for that. Half a win to Panther for the 2v1, and then 1 full win for absolutely mauling him. So that's the current score, with Panther up by 1 point. At this point, Deadpool gets teleported, and he ends up in the desert, basically, on the plains. And he sees these illegal poachers, which includes a dying zebra. First of all, he's not the, biggest advocate, but he is civically responsible at this point. Keep that in mind. So, first of all, he was reading their speech bubbles, which was hilarious, but he pulls up on them, and when they get to aggravating him, remember he doesn't have his arm? He cuts off one of their arms to see if it'd stick on his. So, yeah, he definitely styled on them for that, and he also cut the head off the zebra to bring its suffering to an end, and you'll see what else for in a little bit. But yeah, no, this story gets crazier and crazier as we go. Deadpool, after folding the Poacher, steals their whip, right? And he's off. He's going back to Wakanda. Fuck that. And at this point, we actually see T'Challa's mom pondering, the Captain Americas of the world and all that, and the fact Captain America and Black Panther have fought throughout the ages. And she fears Deadpool more than she fears Captain America, because Captain America is a man of honor. Deadpool is not. He's out here just living his best life. So to her, that makes him very dangerous, which is interesting. Let me know in the comment section, who scares you more, Captain America or Deadpool? They're both on your ass. Who scares you more? Let me know in the live chat. But anyways, getting back to this, and hit the like button if you haven't already. We see Deadpool is driving there, and he's screaming dramatic music louder and louder as he's approaching Wakanda for the upcoming rematch. Meanwhile, Black Panther's training. His mom's actually there viewing the training, and he's folding the Avengers, actually, going all out. He's beating everybody in the projected battle, which was pretty crazy, even using a hypothetical attack on Hulk, which he admitted had never been used before, but it should in theory work. But yeah, pretty impressive feat for him. Now, using old forbidden routes into Wakanda, secret trading routes, Deadpool breaks in, and when he breaks in, he hops into the building right next to Black Panther and his mom, and he's like, "Run the fade, bitch, I'm back." And at this point, he's got the zebra's head on his arm. And he's like, "Yeah, we're running the rematch now." And so, keep in mind, Black Panther's mom's there, right? So he's like, "God damn, I gotta get my mom out of here." So he starts using projections and dances on Deadpool. He's like, "Nah, I'm not letting this slide." Gets his mom out of there. He then proceeds to 1v1 Deadpool. Beats the shit out of Deadpool. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This was a clear beating. Again, he is using a zebra head as his arm. That's kind of hard, but but he got beat up, right? And at this point, T'Challa's like, "Dude, I'll give you your arm back. Just leave forever, because you're really annoying. I don't want you in my country. I'm not gonna help you. You're lucky I'm letting you leave, but you're gonna leave with your arm and just go home. I'm tired of this." So at this point in the story, that beating was so clear. In my opinion, the score is 2.5 to half a point for Deadpool. So Panther's up 2 on the score right now. Predict down below who you think will win by the end of the story, because this is a crazy scoreboard you're about to see. So at this point, Deadpool is still arguing that he doesn't want to leave. He's getting his arm, all that, but he doesn't want to leave forever. He's still determined, and he actually shouts out Wakandan Halloween, in the middle of their argument after what he called their narrative big fight, which was hilarious. And he also called this part of the narrative as well. He's like, "Yo, I love how we're progressing on the narrative of the story and hitting all our narrative points." And that pissed off Panther. So at this point, we also see Jack-O-Lantern is going to be pulling up, which is another kind of obscure villain in Marvel. So again, because of how funny he was and the fact he predicted the narrative and called it and pissed off Panther with that, I'm going to give half a win to Deadpool. So the score is 2.5 to 1 going into issue 3 of 5 of this story. So we're actually a little over halfway through. Smash the like button. So at this point, we get a little backdrop on what's driving Jack-O-Lantern to do what he's doing, right? Like, why is he being a dick? Well, we see it's mostly because he doesn't feel anything. Like, he's socially dead on the inside. Just emotions aren't there, but he wants to feel something. Now, the problem with this, he hates Deadpool because Deadpool lives his best life. He just lives, where Lantern feels dead. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to pull up on Deadpool and fold him. So at this point, a fire is reported in Wakanda, and Panther's like, oh shit, we got to get there. Hots in the jet. Deadpool goes too, because he's not going to let Deadpool leave his sights. They get there, they drop in, house is burned down, they're comforting the families. Panther's like, dude, what happens? And then at this this was funny. Yo, F in the live chat for Deadpool. So Deadpool's talking to Panther while he's comforting a kid. He's like, bro, yo, why does Wakanda, like, I thought you said this wasn't any kind of, like, weird farm. Why is there a scarecrow? The scarecrow was Jack-O-Lantern. And Jack-O-Lantern rocks Deadpool with explosives, right? He just absolutely rocks him. And then we see Deadpool square up and be like, all right, Panther, we ain't going out like this. Let's get his ass. In the 2v1 ensues with Panther and Deadpool taking down Jack-O-Lantern. Now, when they do, we see, again, there was a child there, right? So Panther's like, yo, we got to comfort the child, the family, all that. We got to make sure they're good. So he goes to comfort the child, right? Like, he even takes his mask off, and he's like presenting himself in a more humane way to the child to calm them. And at this point, he's like, Deadpool, you just watch Jack-O-Lantern. We already got him incapacitated. You just keep an eye on him, all right? And later, we will take him on the copter with us, and we'll handle his arrest and all that. So while Deadpool's watching him, Deadpool dome shots him, kills Jack-O-Lantern in front of the child, like traumatizes the child. Panther freaks out. He's like, bro, I told you to watch him. He's like, dude, I took care of him. Like, I got rid of him. Would you have rather taken him on the airplane with that child? Like, do you think that was safe? Which, in my opinion, was pretty funny. And then at this point, Panther's pissed, right? He's like, you know what, Deadpool? Let's go at it. They get into it. They really fight. He's like, I'm sick of your shit, Deadpool. I'm going to punish you for this. And then it's kind of implied that, like, Panther also has an advantage in this fight because he knows he won't kill Deadpool. So he can fight a little crazier and hurt him. This leads to him beheading Deadpool. That's right. Deadpool got beheaded. So the score is 3.5 for Panther to just 1 for Deadpool. In favor of Panther going into issue 4. Again, in the comment section down below and in the live chat, let me know who you think is going to win. So now we see, like, Panther's flying around and flying back, and he has Deadpool's head with him. Deadpool is talking shit regardless of him just having his head, right? He's just doing his best to ignore Panther, say some shit to get on his nerves, and he's cracking mad puns just trying to get Panther to laugh. He also calls out Black Panther for being redundant, and he was kind of shook when he finds out that Deadpool actually has fourth wall breaking ability. He's actually consulted the author before, Coates, just to see about, like, American culture and all that. So that was hilarious. Deadpool was like, oh shit, he knows some fourth wall shit too. And so this leads to them going back to Panther's palace and in his lab where he's going to work on Deadpool, right? Alright, now live chat, get ready to turn up because the energy is changing for Deadpool, right? He's getting shit talked to him by Panther. Panther's got his body there and his head separated. And Deadpool goes, yo, I might be a dead man, or I might not be a dead man because you can't kill me, right? But I got a dead man switch, you dumb bitch. And he blows up the area. Absolutely rocks Panther. I'm talking about this shit was crazy. And he pulls off to rob him. He's like, yo, I'm making a play. You were hating on the kid. I'm gonna make the score. Like, I'm gonna rob you anyway, you fucking bitch. And he rocks Deadpool, Panther, puts him down, and gets out of there. Score has changed, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 3.5 to 2 in favor of Black Panther. Then we see Deadpool and Black Panther get into it again. Like, obviously, they were gonna fight again because, like, at this point, shit's getting crazy and Deadpool's literally trying to rob him. Deadpool concedes. He's like, man, with tech and prep, you're above me. I can't beat Panther when you're teching and you're prepping. Shit, it is what it is. But guess what? I'm going down swinging, bitch. And start scrapping with him. The fight's interrupted when Deadpool is teleported. And when he's teleported, he accidentally ends up in Panther's technology secret cave, which is half a W because shit's about to get treacherous. So 3.5 to 2.5 in favor of Black Panther currently. We see in the tech cave, like, don't let that boy Deadpool in. Like, he's gonna make some plays. We see when he gets in, there's some serious technology in there, including new suits. Deadpool steals the new tech suit, the new Tech Panther suit, and calls himself Pantherpool. And when Black Panther arrives down there, we see like Pantherpool square up with him, and he's like, "Yo, what up, twin?" And they start scrapping. Like, the brawl is about to get real, and Deadpool's like, "Yo, you was talking mad shit when you had the tech advantage, but look now, like, this shit's about to be real interesting." Deadpool, in the middle of the fight, gets teleported again, and when he gets teleported, he ends up in the epicenter of Vibranium. Now, let me tell you what this means. This is literally a mountain full of Vibranium located in Wakanda. This is their source. All their Vibranium's here, right? And Deadpool's looking around, and he feels the crowbar. It's the crowbar starting to interfere with what's going on around him, and he's like, oh shit. He's like, damn, it's crazy when you see the plot going in your favor, and everything starts to vanish. And predict what happens down below. What do you think's about to happen? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section, because this is crazy. But yeah, at this point, you're about to see one of the greatest chain snatches in history occur. W's in the live chat. This is 3.5 to 3.5. Tied up. Going towards the end of this run. It's getting crazy now. Make sure to smash the like button. We then see Deadpool was confirmed to have stolen the whole damn mountain. Deadpool literally chain snatched all of the Vibranium, and he took it to America. In particular, I think it was Jersey. That's right. This man took an entire mountain of Vibranium on accident when he only need like a bullet amount, and he took it all. He took it all because the beef got too real. And this is when we see Panther pull up, right? Panther's like, yo, I gotta get our shit back, because that's literally like all our country's shit. We need it back. We see Pantherpool, aka Deadpool, has a sombrero on the side of the road in Jersey, and he's literally offering to sell Vibranium. Panther obviously isn't going for that shit, and he drops in on Pantherpool, and he's like, yo, cut this shit out, dog. You literally stole everything. And Panther's like, bro, get out my face. So it's like Pantherpool versus Black Panther right now. It's getting confusing. I'll go back to just Deadpool, but yeah, he's still in the suit at this point. We then see this exchange go on, and Deadpool basically snaps, and he's like, yo, Panther, let me also tell you this. In the movies, you stole my gang sign. And he throws up the Wakanda Forever. He's like, I was doing this shit before y'all were doing that, and you stole that. Like, why are you stealing my drip? He then rocks the shit out of Panther. And we see Panther call in Shuri to help him. And the help will come in the form of hacking and shutting down the suit of Panther Pool. That's right. This new suit, unfortunately, had some heavy tech built into it. And as a result, it allowed Shuri to hack it, right? We see Deadpool, and rightfully so, basically tells Black Panther he's a bitch. He's like, yo, you are a bitch for getting Shuri involved again and for hacking. And he's like, this is America, bro. You're in America now, and I'm not going out like a hoe. After Panther declares, literally, like as a damn king, he declares war upon Deadpool himself, which I find to be hilarious. Like, the fact he got him to literally declare war on him is wild. As they fight, we see Panther accesses the spirit of a burial they are fighting on. And this is a big deal because, of course, Black Panther has the King of the Dead powers, right? This is where we see them get supposedly sent to the land of the dead, where Panther forces Deadpool to fight what appears to be the dead soul of Wade Wilson. Deadpool at this point, though, he's like, I ain't no bitch, I'm fighting regardless, and actually does fight back. We see this, of course, was a simulation, right? This was a simulation similar to the one Black Panther ran back in the back when he was fighting all those Avengers, and Deadpool manages to defeat the simulation. But then he's like, bro, I don't want to fight anymore. Like, I was just trying to be civilly responsible. You kept being a dick this whole time. You kept calling me the bad guy. Screw you, bro. Like, I just don't want to do this shit anymore. Like, you're a jackass, Panther. You're not that good of a guy as you think. But in the end, as we kind of wrap up this beef, Deadpool, in my opinion, wins. And you'll see why. So, he gets T'Challa to help him save the mailman with the Vibranium. And during this, we see him do something that hasn't been done yet. After saving the mailman, Deadpool's like, yo, Black Panther, what do the Avengers decorate their party with? An 8-foot banner. And T'Challa, unfortunately for T'Challa fans, cracked up at the joke. That shit made him laugh. And Deadpool was like, yo, I made your bitch ass laugh. Deadpool wins and declared himself the winner, and I agree. He had one of the most incredible comebacks, way down, and came back to win 4.5 to 3.5. In the end, I believe Deadpool won the beef. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the story, let me know in the comment section down below. I had a blast reading it and recording it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been your boy Jobber and Goons. And if you want to see your favorite character, make sure... Every once in a while, you run into an anomaly, right? Like, something that just stands out. The ultimate outlier. In the Goon series, predicting the Goon Hall of Fame, there's a few characters you can just go ahead and chalk down as anomalies, right? Like, they're going to be surefire Hall of Famers because of certain tendencies. One of those characters, of course, is Dr. Doom, who will be the first Goon to be inducted in the Goon Hall of Fame on my channel. But another character that's high tier in that regard is Deadpool. Like, Deadpool's a given, considering all he's done throughout comic history, and he's one of the rare characters where you can pull a whole video of Goon moments from just one run. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to explore all the Goon moments from Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. If you enjoy videos like this, my commentary, my humor and things of that nature, make sure to run the likes up. And if you want Deadpool to return, get this to 600 likes. I'll cover more Deadpool moments. And let me know if you prefer a Deadpool by the story arc or Deadpool just in random. Let me know if you prefer Deadpool in a story arc or if Deadpool by random. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. This is all the Goon moments from Deadpool spinning the block and Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's begin. So, first moment, the run literally starts out. And keep in mind, for as many moments as we pull, there's only 4 issues, right? He's just that crazy in this run. Well, the run literally starts off with him murking the most famous family in Marvel, the Fantastic Four. They are the original explorers of the Marvel Cosmos, first hero team, all that. Since they're the first, since they're goated, Deadpool took their bitch asses down. Even when Reed Richards sent his teammates to the negative zone, it didn't matter. Deadpool got them, even came back. And, you know, Sue Storm even closed in on him and exploded his head with a invisible shield. And she was like, you can't hurt my family anymore. Fuck you, all this shit. And she turned around, was telling someone what happened. And he was like, stupid bitch, never turn your back on someone with a healing factor. And instantly puts her on a t-shirt. So the first family we see, per the observations of the Watcher, to get murked by Deadpool was indeed the Fantastic Four. Rest in peace to the gang, but they were no match for this bloodlusted Deadpool, as later in the story, we learn just exactly why he's wilding out to this degree. Next moment was kind of the explanation behind like how he got so wild, right? Deadpool's always been crazy, but killing the whole Marvel Universe heroes and villains is absolutely wild. So what got him there? Well, that's pretty easy to explain. According to the Watcher, who in this story, of course, absorbs the multiverse, countless realities, countless universes, all this, there is a microverse villain by the name of Dr. Psycho. Dr. Psycho inhabits a fake body of a human doctor here who is super clouded. And as a result, the X-Men led by Professor X bring Deadpool in to be observed by him and operated on to cure his multiple personality situation going on. It's not normal personality disorder because it's Deadpool, but it's similar to that. And, you know, obviously Dr. Psycho has evil plans for this. And what he says is, yo, I'm going to take you, lobotomize you, destroy all the voices in your head, and program one to follow me so that you can lead my army of villains to take over the world. Deadpool's like, damn, that's a crazy idea. But he tries it anyway. As a result, this one voice comes forward that tells Deadpool to kill everyone. Heroes, villains, and alike. Soon after, Deadpool folds the Doctor and then folds the entire psych ward, blowing it up and leaving it in his past, as he now has his mission to fold all his ops, which is literally everyone, which is wild. Now, here's some big evidence of the fourth wall bully that you'll see in the title. Deadpool eventually pulls up on the Watcher, right? The Watcher at this point is serving as the narrator. He's someone above the multiverse, narrating everything going on in realities, including this Deadpool saga. And while he's talking about the current events, he gets suddenly blasted and goes down. And Deadpool's like, yo, I stole this device from Reed Richards, who created something to basically tase cosmic beings like you. So if you have any beef with him, that's not my problem, but you should definitely beef with him because he gave me the ability to beat you. Then he beheads the Watcher. Looks at the reader and is like, yo, I don't know who he's talking to, but I'm going to find you and I'm going to fold you. And yeah, that moment was absurd, which leads into the next saga of events. Next, it opens up issue 2. We see Deadpool has multiple bodies, but not just heroes, villains, anti-villains as well, right? And anti-heroes. Like there's multiple bodies, some Avengers, some X-Men, some just Rogue, spread throughout the world. Like Deadpool's bodying everybody. Like he's not holding back. And at this point, we see the news latch on to an ongoing story where Spider-Man is fighting Deadpool. And as they're going back and forth, eventually Spider-Man drops him. He's like, you're annoying at this point. Deadpool's like, don't care, bitch. I'm going to get rid of everybody. And he gets dropped, right, and splatters. Spider-Man drops down. And Deadpool's like, look, dummy, I'm not dead yet. You know I got regen. Puts a gun to Spider-Man's head, and he's like, I don't understand why no one's done this to you so far. Maybe it's plot armor? Like, he literally addresses multiple times throughout the story that characters literally have plot. But he's like, yeah, someone should have been done this. Proceeds to put Spider-Man on a t-shirt. Rest in piss, Spider-Man. Oh, no. After pulling this off, Deadpool's like, man, I've beat with a lot of people. Killed Spider-Man, who is iconic. Killed multiple other heroes. But, you know, there's some big timers out there that could get this worked. That would definitely, you know, spread the message faster. Of course, he's referring to big timers like the Avengers. We see the Avengers are indeed gathered. At one point, they're like, yo, Pym's gone. Shit's getting crazy. Luke Cage is there. Thor's there. Cap's there. All this. Deadpool proceeds to blow the building up. And when he does, not many people survive this event, right? Like, Deadpool planned for it to specifically be able to kill them most, if hopefully not all, right? Doesn't kill all, but it kills a lot of them. In the aftermath, Deadpool descends upon it. It's like, yeah, bitches, like, I prepped the shit out of this, you hoes. And Luke Cage is like, yo, I have unbreakable skin, baby. Like, you thought you were going to do this? Acting like he was about to clutch the W. Deadpool was like, relax. You don't scale to me. You don't scare me. I prepped for this. He was like, didn't you drink coffee earlier? Because I made some micro bombs. Luke Cage is like, oh, shit. Blows up, right? Instantly folding. Deadpool's like, stupid bitch. Then he beats with Thor. And he's like, Thor's tricky. Thor's a god. Physiology is different. All that. Ends up bodying Thor by using Pym particles to make his Mjolnir way bigger and squashing. End up absolutely just folding Thor with the pure weight of Mjolnir, which was wild to see. After getting these notable wins, Deadpool's like, damn, bro, like, shit should be a breeze. He's talking to that one voice in his head. And it's like, yeah, like, we bodied everybody. Hulk pulls up, right? Tears him to shreds. Hulk's like, yo, you killed my boys. You killed my enemies. No one does that shit except Hulk. I was like, mad respect to Hulk. But unfortunately, Hulk leaves the scene after tearing him to shreds. Goes to a cave. Falls asleep as Bruce. Deadpool shows up and was like, yo, you ripped me apart. You wouldn't like to see me when I'm angry. And is like clowning Hulk and beheads Bruce Banner. Unfortunately, Banner wasn't able to come back as Hulk in time and dies in that moment. But it was a pretty funny exchange between those two, but Deadpool does take the win in the end. We then see Deadpool pull up on Professor X, right? And this shit was brutal. Of course, Professor X is the one that actually brought him in. If you remember, and Wolverine was like, I don't have a good feeling about this, but Professor X was like, we have to do it. Deadpool's crazy. But yeah, he got him in this mess, basically. So Deadpool's sitting him there, and he's like, look, bitch, do what I told you to do. Stabs Professor X and makes him alert the X-Men. Say, X-Men, come to me. And that's when we see X-Men pull up members like Cyclops. Cyclops gets trapped in substance that Deadpool pulled up with, and it ends up making his lasers backfire and blowing his head up. He folds a bunch of X-Men for trying to pull up and save Professor X, as at this point, Deadpool's kill streak is absolutely crazy, and hit the like button if you haven't already. Deadpool then, you know, gets into an exchange with Professor X where Professor X is like, I have to shut your mind down. Deadpool's like, oh, you want to read my mind? Are you sure? Okay, no return policy, bitch. And allows Professor X to access his mind. At this point, this access, seeing everything Deadpool knows, the fact he knows about the Reader, the Rider, all this shit, things like that cause Professor X to literally die. He goes brain dead. And Deadpool's like, yeah, bitch, don't pull up on me and try to read my brain. That's what you get. That's when we also see Deadpool declare war upon the fourth wall. He's like, yo, there's this fourth wall out there. There's this hero's journey. There's this story. There's this fan base, all this shit. I will be coming to kill it soon because it low-key tortures characters like me. And I was like, damn, Deadpool really is stepping with authority in this run. Next, we see one of the funniest exchanges in this run. If you don't know, of course, this has to pop up on my Beef series at one point, Deadpool versus Wolverine. But Deadpool and Wolverine have a crazy rivalry. They hate each other. And Wolverine at this point, hunting down Deadpool, finds out Arcade, this villain, was helping Deadpool, kills him for helping him. Pulls up, finds Dakin and X-23 being burnt alive and killed over and over again. And Deadpool's like, yo, bitch, glad you showed up. And then was like, yeah, I just basically do to them what I would do to me to overrun my healing factor. Wolverine's like, alright, you want a duel, bitch? And Deadpool's like, damn right I do, I'm a fucking samurai, pussy. And they start fighting. Deadpool's using a carbonadium blade, proceeds to fold Wolverine and puts him on a t-shirt in front of his kids. At this point, Deadpool gets, some money placed on his head. This comes in the form of many widows of people he's t-shirted coming together and being like, we're sick of this bitch, we're gonna get him killed. They end up hiring Taskmaster. Why you hire a career jobber to pull a mission like this off, I have no idea. But Taskmaster was like, yo, I accept the payment, I'll slide on him. And he starts investigating and hunting down Deadpool. At one point, he finds out Deadpool actually killed Doctor Strange and his homies. Pulled up on their sanctum, murked them, left them basically crucified, folded them, all that. But the reason he did that and the reason this was horrifying was he did this to find the map to the nexus of realities so he could find the pinnacle of creation and eventually escape it. At this point, it's obvious what he's going to do. He's going to use this map to pull up on the fourth wall and get his revenge on those beyond it. So, at this point, he actually runs a 1v1 that was pretty solid against Punisher. Shout out to Punisher for pulling up for his fade, regardless of the fact that Deadpool's basically folded everyone to this point. He gets the drop on Deadpool, pops him, runs up on him, then finds out he just popped a dull version of Deadpool. Deadpool gets the drop on Punisher and was like, yo, the dude that thought he was so smart, so crafty, so guerrilla warfare like, you got folded by a bum like me. Then T-shirts Punisher. By the way, bar of this run was probably Deadpool telling Wolverine his mutant power wasn't healing, it was popularity. That was pure comedy. But anyways, as Deadpool takes his battle to the cosmic level, as obviously he's trying to get to the fourth wall eventually, cosmic beings are dying like Galactus and Thanos. And we see him battling Taskmaster, who again, like I mentioned earlier, was dispatched to go and try and kill Deadpool. Deadpool's like, bro, it's funny because you're basically a walking memory of everyone I've murked. So the reason he says that is Taskmaster steals like abilities and styles from everybody. So literally most of the characters Deadpool's killed, he's felt like part of him has died each time they die because he's stolen part of them. So in a way he really is fighting like a photographic memory of all the people he's killed. And Deadpool's like, yo, you're not even my main op. That's the funny part. He's like, my main op is the hero's journey, the story, all that. That's what I'm really trying to get to. And he does eventually fold Taskmaster. We see he folds him by incorporating Man-Thing into the battle. Man-Thing kills Taskmaster because Taskmaster was afraid. And then Deadpool's like, yo, Taskmaster, or Man-Thing, you know what I'm trying to do. Man-Thing ends up detonating because Man-Thing is the key to like getting out of creation because he's the guardian of the nexus of all realities. And through this detonation, Deadpool is able to try and journey his way through the heart of creation. And as he's going, he's like, bro, this sucks because I was trying to just like stab a heart of creation. He's like, I thought there was like a video game where you pull up on the heart of creation, stab it, all that shit, and story's over. But no, It's a lot more complicated than that, but nevertheless, he's on his goon timing, and he decides to keep going anyways. And the story ends with another goon moment as he cuts through the heart of creation, all this shit. He eventually gets to where the writers are. This includes Cullen Bunn, the writer of the story. Shout out to him. And when he gets there, you see the writers talking about how the story will end, and then you see Deadpool go, yo, after I murk these writers for doing what they did to me and all the other characters in Marvel, I'm coming after you next, bitch, and threatens the readers. And then the story ends. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see another story of Deadpool covered in a Goon video, let me know in the comment section down below. As well as if you want to see him just have random moments covered, let me know as well. Which style do you prefer for this character? Personally, I think he's one of those rare characters where just single story arcs or stories alone have enough moments. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today we have a video involving Deadpool, Gambit, and a whole bunch of other characters. It's a wild beef. It's gonna be called Deadpool vs. Gambit the Beef because that's the title of the run, but it's a lot more complicated than that. It's a hilarious story. It's actually one of the more fun stories I've read, so I'm definitely going to enjoy this one. If you like the beef videos or any of my content, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as well as turn on the notification bell so you see all my content because I post quite often and I try to do so at least every other day, but mostly daily, unless something pops up. And on the coffee shop, I've been uploading more frequently recently. And I'll be doing stuff called Blitz Battles, which are basically shorter versions of versus battles, so like 5 to 8 minutes. That way I can get a bunch of battles out on that channel quite often. And if you want to see your favorite video either here or on the coffee shop, use the code Carnage to purchase. It's only $30 a video if you use that code. Blitz Battles are only $20 because they're shorter videos. So if you want a Blitz Battle, just say it's a Blitz Battle. But anyways, guys, getting back to this is Deadpool vs. Gambit. I hope you guys enjoy. Without further ado, let's begin. So this story starts out with Deadpool and Gambit. Deadpool obviously being the merc with a mouth and paws, and Gambit being the smooth-talking X-Men, right? So they see each other in line. They're like, yo, Deadpool, Gambit, what up? And they're about to beef, and they're like, wait, why aren't we cool? Like, what happened? Why are we about to square up? Because both of them are kind of airheaded, and they're like, they start flashing back to the reason they're squaring up, like, what went wrong. So they had done this heist before, right? Both are con men and mercenaries. And this heist was put on to them by this guy named Chalmers, who is a very important character throughout this story, and you'll see why later. So Chalmers hires them to pull this elaborate con. What happens is Deadpool and Gambit both dress up as Daredevil and Spider-Man, and they start fighting throughout the cities. And they're saying stupid shit. They're like, "Yo, Daredevil, I'm mad at you," and they start swinging on each other. But what they're secretly doing, and it's a hilarious fight. I mean, you see at one point they pop in at like this theater, and this kid's like, "Yo, can y'all stop fighting?" basically, but he's talking like Shakespeare terms, and I'm like, "Dude, shut up, write a play about it." But they keep fighting. And eventually they stop, they get away, and you even see the real Spider-Man and Daredevil be like, dude, what's going on? Why are they saying we're fighting across the city? We're literally not. But getting back to this, it turns out they were hitting multiple diamond spots to rob places while they were fighting. They're basically hiding the thievery with the fights. And they get back. Right, they're going over like how to split the profits, and Gambit's like, yo, we should do cons more, and Deadpool's like, why don't we do cons anymore? And this is what we would call the first time they beef, right? They don't beef a lot in this comic because there's a lot more people involved, but they beef here, straight up. And both of them suspect each other of an upcoming double cross. So Gambit rocks Deadpool with some of his powers. Now, if you don't know, Gambit can kinetically charge objects and throw it at people, right? So he blasts Deadpool, gets away, starts running. Deadpool runs out, he's pissed. They keep fighting throughout the city, and Gambit's laying him out. I mean, he's grabbing pebbles, blowing up Deadpool with them. It's horrible. Like, anytime Gambit has access to a bunch of objects, he can body you. Like, he could throw a whole lot of shit at you. So Deadpool's getting folded by this, right? And what was funny is this kid that was from the play pops up again. He's like, yo, what are y'all doing? They're like, dude, aren't you done with practice by now? And he's like, I'm waiting for my mom. And he's like, wait, how do y'all know me? And that boy Deadpool's like, oh shit, like, we saw you during the heist, never mind. And they keep fighting. Eventually they realized that boy Chalmers had run off with all the loot. They didn't actually double cross each other. Deadpool was like, nah, matter of fact, because Gambit was like, dude, I thought you had like a pistol glued under the table. Deadpool's like, dude, if I had a pistol waiting for you for a double cross, it'd be on my chair. So he did have one, but it wasn't where Gambit thought it was. They realized Chalmers set them up and took everything. So they both got hustled, right? And as they're talking in line, they're like, yo. It flashes back to the present, and they're like, yo. By the way, for that version of the beef, Gambit won. So 1-0 between them. And they're like, yo, if we ever see this boy again, we gotta pop him, right? That's when Chalmers pops up and is like, yo, come get coffee with the boy. Chalmers is gangster about that shit. W in the live chat for Chalmers. He's pretty gangster. So Chalmers goes to get coffee with them, right? And he's this confident, old businessman. And he's like, look, no, I did you dirty on the last con, but relax. I have a new come up for us that is amazing. And honestly, no matter how mad you are at me, you're not going to be able to pass it up. So at this point, he gives them briefcases. It's got a shit ton of cash. Deadpool and Gambit are like, oh, okay, yeah, we're interested. Clearly, you're making up for last time. And he's like, look, if you run this one last heist with me, you'll get 2 more briefcases just like that. They're like, sold, baby, what's the play? And he's like, all right. And he pulls out this big board. He's like, you got this one target, Wang Lei or whatever, Fei Pei, whatever the hell his name was. It was a made-up name. It's not who he is, but you'll see who it is later. He's like, this is and they call him the Whale. He's like eating through Crescent City, right? Just going crazy, constantly drunk. He has a priceless relic that they are to steal. Another aspect of this mission, they got to get his fingerprints too. Basically, they're going to go party with him, go undercover, get the dragon's tongue, which is the relic, get it back, right? And they got to get his fingerprints, all that. So at this point, Gambit's like, here's the problem, right? Deadpool's ugly as shit, so how are we going to get him in there? And Deadpool's like, dude, first of all, don't roast me, but relax. I have a device that basically changes my face. I'll blend in. So he changes his face, and he's like, yo, don't I look like Steve Zahn? I'm going to put a picture up on Steve Zahn live chat. Let me know if that boy Deadpool was right. But anyways, they go to the casino, right, to hang out with Lei, who is the businessman. And when they get there, they start partying, drinking all this shit, and they're like, yo, do you notice he's had like 20 drinks and nothing's happened to him? And Deadpool's like, dude, relax. I have a healing factor. I can drink with anybody. There's no way this human's gonna outdrink me. He's like, let's just party with him and be cool, right? At one point, we see he, in particular, the businessman likes Deadpool, so he's hanging out with him more, right? And we see at one point Gambit getting questioned, and the dude's like, don't I know you from somewhere? And he's like, nah, I'm Neo. I've never met you. And that dude's like, you're Neo, like from the Matrix? And he's like, I've never seen the Matrix. And he's like, oh, skip the sequels, that shit sucks. And I was like, damn, y'all gonna call it the Matrix like that? But getting back to this, that's when we realized they're not just at dinner or a casino, they're actually at a fight club. And we see during a fight between 2 individuals, one being the guy that just questioned Gambit, the businessman jumps down there and is like, yo, this is pretty dope. Like, I'd like to participate. Runs up and starts scrapping with them. And he's like, dude, I will fight anybody in here, any of the people y'all think is a tough guy. And that's when several people start rushing the businessman, and he's getting to work, right? Deadpool, Gambit jump down. They're like, oh shit, we gotta get him out of here. Like, this shit's bad. And we see that casually, even when like Deadpool's getting thrown around, this businessman is casually taking everybody out. Like, he's beating up everybody, and he's like, I'll fight everybody in here. I'll put all my money on me. And they start brawling with everybody. And literally, they clear the room. Like, this shit was crazy. And they end up, the businessman, Deadpool, and Gambit end up getting out of there perfectly healthy, thanks to their clutch fighting in the trenches, right? So they continue on to the night, trying to go on with their hustle. At this point, they had gotten Dr. Voodoo involved in the act. They had him conjure up one of the best bands ever in like the last 100 years spiritually. We see he gave them magic, basically roofies, to put in the alcohol of Lang Pei's drink or whatever, right? And when they did, they're like, all right, that magic stuff should have knocked him out. Let's go get him. They realize he slipped away. He tanked it. So they're like, dude, at this point, like, I don't know what we're dealing with. Like, this shit's getting kind of crazy. And he's like, yo, Voodoo. Deadpool looks at Voodoo. He's like, you Harry Potter types always fumble the bag. And he's like, Harry Potter type? And that's when Gambit's like, dude, chill. And he's like, yo, Voodoo, you think you can send me back to the place? And he's like, sure. Sends him back. And then Deadpool's like, yo, do you think you could send me to where I need to be? And Voodoo's like, no, you just called me Harry Potter. Fuck you. And then Deadpool's like, all right, what's an apology and $300 get me? He ends up getting a bike from Dr. Voodoo, just a regular ass little bike. And Deadpool pedals off to try to track down Chalmers to make sure they don't get double crossed, right? Deadpool gets the drop on Chalmers and is about to surprise him as we see Chalmers going, okay, I got all 5 fingerprints. Time to make the play. As soon as Deadpool's about to pop in, he gets jumped by a bunch of ninjas, right? Including one ninja lady that has him by the throat. And he's like, yo, Chalmers, what up? And he's like, Chalmers, are you magic or something? How'd you know I'd be here to protect you from these ninjas? And he's like, I didn't know you'd be here. He was like, I was trying to run off on you and them. I didn't know either of you'd be here, but at least you're here to try to save me, right? And so he's like, oh shit, this is crazy. The ninjas take Chalmers hostage. They're like, yo, where's the artifact? And that's when we see Chalmers basically tell them, like, yo, I know what the artifact is. It grants the user a life that I particularly want, and that's why I stole it. And he gives up the artifact. However, when he gave up the artifact and they dip, turns out Deadpool used the image user on the artifact. They still have it. So Deadpool actually finessed the ninjas, which was very surprising. So then Chalmers is like, look, I want to pay y'all back. You're clutch. Y'all clutched it for me. Deadpool's sick of that shit, right? He's like, you know what? You almost killed me. I'm taking your ass to the warehouse or the safe house, and we're going to get your money, right? So he grabs Chalmers, takes him to the safe house, and drops him off there. He's sitting in there, and he's like, yo, we're going to wait on Gambit, but we're going to get this money. Everything will be good, all that. And, you know, I don't want anything to do with you after this. We'll go our separate ways. Then he realizes Chalmers is gone. He dipped, right? And that's when we see the door open. And Deadpool's like, yo, finally, Gambit, you're here. And we see the businessman walk in, and he goes, not quite. Deadpool goes, look, we stole your relic. I know that's what makes you, like, magical and shit, gives you life, all that. But he's like, we stole that shit. You don't have it anymore. So you don't want to fight me. I'm Deadpool. You're just a dude. Trust me. You don't want the smoke. The dude goes, you stupid bitch. I'm Fat Cobra. I'm not just a businessman. He's like, I've beaten an army of werewolves. I've bested like hundreds of warriors at the same time. I've defeated the Iron Fist on his own turf. He's like, my only loss was to a dragon, and I beat the shit out of the dragon in the rematch. He's like, I'm definitely about to fold you. And that's when we see Deadpool go, oh shit, yo, Gambit, I need your help. And shit's about to get bad. So Deadpool's waiting for Gambit to come home. And when he does, Gambit sees Deadpool. He's like, yo, what's wrong? And Deadpool's like, yo, you don't understand the shit I went through tonight. He's like, that fat businessman popped up and his name was Fat Cobra. He said not only did he beat my ass, he beat my ass in the most fancy way possible. He was like, this dude was just tearing me apart. And he's like, the worst part, while I was getting sauced on and humiliated, he was like, it's literally the worst I've ever been beat up. Because at one point he's like, dude, I'm Deadpool, I'm not really Steve Zahn. Because his Fat Cobra thought he was Steve Zahn. And he was like, I'm not Steve Zahn, I'm Deadpool, I'm the monster in every book, I've killed the Hulk, all that shit. And he's battling him, gets sauced on, right? And Fat Cobra eventually, he's like, I'm tired of beating you up, I'm gonna kill you. And Deadpool's like, per the Marvel wiki, I should be healing way better than I am, but I'm not. This shit sucks. And he was just left to be sore and in pain and heal in a weird fashion. His powers were messed up. And Gambit's like, dude, I'm sorry that sucks for you, my boy, but like, my story sucks too. And Deadpool's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, my powers went wrong too. So as you guys know, Gambit loves sleeping around, conning, all that shit. So he's sleeping with a girl and his powers go wrong and he accidentally uses his kinetic powers on her. So her arm is charging up and he's like, oh my god, I might kill this random hoe. So he's scrambling to like save her. Now, worst part about this girl, right? She's connected to Fat Cobra. So her arm ends up detonating. She's bleeding everywhere. Gambit has to take her to the hospital. And when Fat Cobra shows up, he's like, where's the dude that did this? I'm going to kill him. Gambit's like, dude, I don't have time for this shit. Dips, right? While he dips, he's getting chased by that ninja girl that works with Fat Cobra. And he's like, dude, I don't have time for this. Hits her with the ankle breaker and gets out of there, right? And so they're hanging out at this point, just going over how bad their life has sucked recently. And they're like, dude, what is this all tied to? Because Gambit later realized he couldn't control his power anymore. So they're like, what's the root of all this? And that's when Gambit's like, dude, and they took this flight and everything. And Gambit was like, dude, I realized it. He's like, do you remember the Scrambler? And Deadpool's like, who's Scrambler? The dude with the egg powers? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, Scrambler, the mutant that can literally mess with your powers. Basically, they sold Swampland that belonged to Man-Thing, which obviously is a bad idea because it's enchanted, plus it's like the nexus of realities. They sold it to the Scrambler, right? And then it goes into this big montage explaining the Scrambler's backstory. His powers can mess up systems in general, so not only can he mess up your powers, he could also mess up your system, like your respiration system, respiratory. I mean, goddamn, that was a dumb statement, but you know what I mean. He can mess up anything, any kind of function. And this goes on to kind of explain his villain story. Like he had a horrible childhood. He was in the system for a long time. He lost both hands, had to get replacement hands, all this, and he basically accepted his role as a villain, right? He's like, you know what? Life sucks. I'm just going to be a villain. And at one point, he's talking to his lawyer about this villain shit, and he's trying to read the legal papers, right? Now, before we continue with the story of this character, Scrambler, I do want to double back and just confirm a couple things that happened before this, because this issue is almost primarily about Scrambler's backstory, right? So before that happens, Fat Cobra arrives again, and Deadpool and Gambit are like, dude, we don't want to fight you. Like, they had just shown up at this bad guys party looking for Chalmers and shit and doing other things. Gambit ends up fighting all the bad guys, and he's surviving. But they're like, yo, we've been through a bunch of shit. They even fought, and it was funny. Deadpool goes there, but not to back him up, right? Because Deadpool's still hurting, still suffering from the healing factor woes. And so when he told Gambit he's going to back him up or go with him, Gambit's like, are you backing me up or are you just going because you don't trust me? And Deadpool's like, dude, don't be absurd. I clearly am in no shape to help you. So he's just going because he doesn't trust Gambit. So he's there and he's just observing the scene. And he's like, oh, the pretty boys never learn their lessons and they always win. Gambit does clutch the W. Even when Absorbing Man absorbs a hot dog and becomes Wiener Man, he still defeats Wiener Man, right? So shout out to W's in the chat for Gambit beating all these villains. They get the Fat Cobra, and Fat Cobra's like, dude, I don't have beef with y'all anymore for two reasons. One, Gambit, that girl he saved, basically was a student of Fat Cobra. Two, Deadpool survived death at the hands of Fat Cobra, which he found impressive. And he was like, it's even more impressive that you like beefed with that Hulk. And Deadpool was like, dude, I didn't kill a Hulk. And it was like a C-list Hulk. That shit doesn't count. And so they agreed to be friends again. And Fat Cobra's like, I need my dragon tongue back. So he grants Deadpool the power of the Iron Fist. And he's like, go get my shit back. If you do, we're good. If you don't, I kill you. And so Deadpool is now the Iron Fist. W's in the chat for Iron Fist. The new one, that is Deadpool or Dead Fist, whatever you want to call him. Now, moving on, like I said, there was a Scrambler story. Eventually, he signs a contract for Swampland. He unscrambles the contract to kind of understand it, and he was unscrambling a Norse rune. And this was when Loki appears. And Loki's like, I've been coordinating this entire story. I've been Chalmers, Khan, other characters. He's like, sign this, I'll make your dreams come true. You don't have to be what you've been your whole life. All this shit. So at this point, he's trying, Loki, who's been completely manipulating this story, is trying to hustle and get some of this land from that boy Scrambler. By the way, for those that like power scaling, there's some pretty dope scaling in here in which Deadpool is explaining the tree of Yggdrasil, which includes containing beings like Living Tribunal. And he's talking about the tree, how it's important. Turns out there's a tree on Earth that's connected to Yggdrasil. It's like a projection of it, right? So at this point, the gods are getting involved. They think that Kunlun is messing with Asgard, messing with this tree. Because at this point, Deadpool, Gambit, Fat Cobra, they pull up on the tree. They're like, if we get rid of this, Chalmers and stuff, we'll figure out what he's hiding from us. So they pull up. And when Chalmers gets there and stuff, we see he gets found and made for two reasons. One, Scrambler pulls up. Scrambler snitches and is like, Chalmers is Loki. And then we see on the other side, we get an amazing fight between Chalmers and Dead Fist, right? Because Deadpool, while explaining all this, he's like, look, I have this connection to Chi now because I'm the Iron Fist. Pulls up on Chalmers. They get to scrapping, right? Like I said, I did just tell you Chalmers is Loki, but at this point, Deadpool doesn't know that. He's fighting Chalmers. He's like, dude, how is this old man so, like, capable of martial arts? At this point, Deadpool's literally pulling apart comic panels to block Chalmers, who's cutting through and destroying speech bubbles and stuff. A lot of good metafiction scaling right there. But anyways, getting back to this, they kind of stalemate. Gambit tells them to stop, right? This is when we see that people have been watching, including Odin, and he dispatches the Warriors 3 to figure out what the hell's going on and who's attacking that tree. They pull up, and Fat Cobra's like, oh, look, emissaries of Asgard. And they pull up on Fat Cobra, and they're like, look, we're about to pull up on you as agents of Asgard because Kunlun has disrespected us now. And Fat Cobra's like, bro, we can beef whenever. Like, Fat Cobra will fight anyone. And he's like, you better relax before I put hands on you. It's this point when we see kind of all the big plans be revealed. And at this point, they're going back and forth. The fight already occurred. Gambit sees Scrambler, charges up Deadpool or Dead Fist, and throws him at Scrambler, knocks out Scrambler, which allows Gambit to get his full power back under complete control, right? We see the Warriors 3 pull up on Fat Cobra, and that shit does not go well for them. They start getting beat up instantly by Fat Cobra. They're like, oh shit, this dude is a monster. And finally, when Scrambler wakes up, like I said, he blows the cover of Loki, and Odin, all them, they're like, yo, Loki's there? Loki reveals himself. And they're like, Loki, why are you trying to organize this weird-ass beef with the swampland that was purchased, this tree here? Like, what are you doing? And because at this point, if they mess with this tree and Yggdrasil is compromised, even burning a branch can collapse heavens. Loki's like, first of all, I don't expect y'all to understand a god tier plan like mine. But he's like, secondly, if everything would have fell, I get credited with this god land here and everyone can live here. And they're like, dude, that's ridiculous. So at this point, the Asgardians are forced to apologize to Fat Cobra because they embarrassed themselves. And they take away Loki to be judged for nearly collapsing heavens. And crazy enough, it was Deadpool or Dead Fist in Gambit that blew his cover and stopped his plan. And he's like, yo, how did these two idiots stop my god tier plan? And Deadpool's like, bro, I just ball out. Like, you know the vibes. Like, I'm just doing what I do. After this mission, of course, everything concludes. Deadpool loses the Iron Fist power because he got the Dragon Tongue back. This, of course, happened when Gambit pickpocketed it off Loki. And everything's good for them. And they're like, dude, I can't believe we beefed. All these schemes went crazy. And they're like, well, you know what? We ran schemes with the god of schemes. So that makes us god tier schemers, which is facts. And the story ends with Scrambler ending up getting that land that they bought in the first place. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Like I said, this wasn't a conventional Deadpool versus Gambit. Between those two, Gambit did far better in this story than Deadpool. Although his Dead Fist moments were pretty dope, but Deadpool also took a lot of L's, so Gambit was more of a W magnet in this run, but it was a hilarious beef story, and Deadpool and Gambit did end up winning their beef with Loki technically, so shout out to them for the W. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons. Let me know what beefs you want to see on the channel, and if you want to purchase one, let me know and hit me up on Discord. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Peace. Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons. Super excited for this because we are starting a new series called The Beef. The Beef is a series where I take a fictional beef, whether comics, manga, or other things, analyze it, commentate the story, what goes down, how the beef starts, ends, all this shit. Give my, funny take on it, all this. And overall, give you guys a sense of the story, the background of the beef, and sometimes you guys don't even know these beefs actually happen. To qualify for a beef, it's got to be, usually it has to have at least like one story arc, and they have to have fought more than once, and it can't be just like some random encounter. That's not a beef. I'm talking about something that actually was story-based and like had a narrative to it. So with that in mind, my Moon Knight video did very well, so I decided to cover one of his beefs in comics first, which is him versus Deadpool. I will be analyzing the first time they ever had beef in comics. And if you want to see a part 2, because they did go at it again later in comics, run the likes up. We hit 600 likes, and I will happily bring it back in the beef series. I hope you guys enjoy this. Check out the coffee shop, my second channel. I'll be posting battles like Eisen versus Palpatine over there soon. As well as if you want to see your favorite character shown in a Job or a Goon series, if you want to see anything in the Beef series, hit me up on Discord. We can discuss prices for videos, as well as all my scans to these Beef videos in the Beef series will be in my public Discord server, so make sure to check that out. But I'm not going to waste any more time. I hope you guys enjoy this, and without further ado, let's begin. So this beef takes place between two legendary hooligans in Marvel Comics, Moon Knight versus Deadpool. I'm going to kind of build the scene to the story and then walk you through it. I hope you guys enjoy. Again, this is a start to the new series, The Beef. Now, this beef in particular takes place in, I believe it's called Revenge of the Moon Knight. That is the storyline for 2010. And this kicked off, I think, in either issue 6 or 7 after one storyline with Moon Knight in which one of his ops is Norman Osborn, famously known as Green Goblin. Y'all know him. He's had several Goon videos actually on my channel. And basically when Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, was beefing with Osborn, Osborn knew about his murderous side that was fueled by visions of Khonshu, the Egyptian god of revenge. And he took this and basically went on a bad PR run against Moon Knight, causing Moon Knight to have to fake Mark Spector's death and move away. When he did, eventually he brought up the identity of Jake Lockley, moved back and took up Moon Knight mantle once again, but this time he's mellowed out. Like, he's not killing anymore. He's a lot more chill, not wilding out, anything like that. And it's a lot different from what's usual, but he is still a hero and protector of those who walk at night. This is at the point we are introduced to the beef, okay? So Moon Knight awakens to get an alert. The alert tells him that at the Mount Sinai hospital, there's been a break-in. And when he goes to check the screen, he sees like a bloody handprint. He's like, fuck that. I'm pulling up. No one disrespects me. Pulls up on my hood, especially at the hospital, and just like folds people. You don't do that shit. So Moon Knight dons his gear and pulls up, right? Gets to the hospital, hops out, goes inside, and notices and gets an alert from Frenchie, his butler, basically the Alfred ripoff, and goes, yo, like, that's a slice of pizza in there. And Moon Knight's like, okay, this shit's kind of weird, but we're going to let it slide. Goes inside, notices instantly that the people that have been taken down inside the hospital are unconscious. They weren't killed. So clearly this isn't someone just going on a mindless, brutal slaughter. This is someone that's actually, to some degree, actually being pretty calculated. So Moon Knight's like, okay, this shit's weird, but whatever, we're going to keep it moving. So he's walking through, he's seeing the chaos and carnage. Finally, he gets to a door after not seeing any attackers and being like, okay, this is where someone just went in. Kicks it open and sees Deadpool, who is holding a gun to an old man patient's head and is like, bruh, he started it. Moon Knight's like, what the fuck? And Moon Knight pulls out crescent darts, throws them at Deadpool, right? And hits him. He disarms him. He actually rocks him before he can fire at the old man. And that's when he engages with Deadpool. The two go back and forth. Deadpool knocks him over and he's like, dude, don't mess with me when I'm working. I'm trying to chase a bag. You're making me fumble it. I don't need this kind of pressure in my life. You know, I'm just trying to make a play. And Moon Knight's like, dude, you can't just pull up and blow the brains out of old patients. Like, that's not what you do. You're trying to just massacre old men that can't fight back in the hospital. We're not letting that shit slide. He's like, all right, bet, bitch. They start going back and forth, right? Moon Knight rocks him. Like, I'm talking, lands a solid-ass hit. And Deadpool's like, yo, that Jackie Chan shit, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of dope. Like, those, you know, kung fu style moves you're using, it was dope. But I was holding back. I wasn't taking you serious. You showed up in, like, that all-white outfit. It was weird and awkward. Wasn't feeling the vibes, so didn't respect you. So now I'll actually square up since I'm not distracted or anything like that. So at this point, Deadpool's basically saying he wasn't actually trying against Moon Knight in this fight because he was getting his ass beat. A nurse shows up showing her cleavage. Deadpool immediately gets distracted. I'm talking about instantly was distracted. But of course, Moon Knight, being who he is, doesn't get distracted in moments like these. He's all about the bag and the fade. Runs up on Deadpool and absolutely rocks him in his shit. Punches him so hard that Deadpool flies out of a window and is BFR'd in the fight, ending the first encounter. So during that fight, right, between Moon Knight and Deadpool, the first scrap, Deadpool was talking shit and said some things that kind of made Moon Knight realize, okay, things might not be as simple as they seem. So he goes and investigates the mobster, right? Well, who we find out to be a mobster. This was the old man Deadpool almost popped. He finds out this dude is one of the worst people in the city. This is a guy beefs with everybody. Several illegal trade operations he runs, connected underground, and he kidnaps the children of his ops and oftentimes straight up murks them to get back at his ops or send messages like, yo, don't mess with us, dog. We'll run your shit. Tier 4 Goon, this random guy, right? He's a horrible person. So Moon Knight's like, yo, did turning soft, like, make me an idiot? Like, am I a shitty hero? Because I low-key just saved one of the worst people ever from a fade he deserved. So he starts kind of tripping about this. And it pans over to Deadpool meeting with the girl that hired him, right? And she's like, hey, did you put a bullet in that old bitch's head? And he's like, nah, dog. Ain't even gonna hold you. Ran into some bitch wearing all white. And he was kind of saucy with it. So we got into a scrap and I was not able to fulfill the contract. And he's like, yo, that old man you're beefing with, like, he has like stage 4 cancer. Like, his bitch ass is gonna die. I know he's horrible, but he's dying. Like, don't you want him to just die? And we see this lady, one of her relatives, one of her loved ones, was murdered at the hands of this old man. And she was like, damn that. I want to see his bitch ass get murked. I don't want to see him go out the natural way. I want his ass taken out. I want to smoke his ashes tonight. Deadpool was looking at her and was like, huh, this bitch is mad and I respect it. He was like, yo, you want his fade? 100% respect that. I'm going to go catch the body for you. Mad respect for keeping it real. And it was one of the few times, you don't typically see Deadpool even semi-serious, but he respected where the lady was coming from and he was like, yeah, I'll go catch the body for him. So, Deadpool's out and about. Moon Knight runs into him. Moon Knight's like, yo, I understand, like, this guy's a piece of shit. He deserves whatever he gets, but you're not going to kill him. Like, I'm not going to let you just kill the guy. We're not God. Like, we don't pull the trigger like that anymore. And Deadpool's like, yo, in the streets, they said Moon Knight was a real one. He's like, bro, you go down the block, they used to say you were the shit. Like, what the fuck happened? He's like, you're kind of a bitch now. You don't have no gonads no more. Like, you don't pull up. You're not with that shit no more. Moon Knight's like, bro, like, look, I'm just saying you're not going to kill him. Like, relax. Like, that's not our call to make, even if you think I'm soft. And Deadpool was like, yeah, you're definitely a soft-ass bitch. Like, Deadpool was talking greasy, and he kind of had a point. He was like, yo, you're kind of tripping on this. Turn the other cheek and let me, like just look the other way. I'm going to pull the trigger. This dude's horrible. And he's like, yo, when I look into the abyss, I laugh. When you look into the abyss, Moon Knight, you get scared. And I was like, damn, Deadpool definitely won the verbal exchange. Let me know in the live chat who you think won the verbal exchange. Personally, I got to side with Deadpool at this moment. But we see at this point that Moon Knight has decided to go save the kids to kind of redeem himself for saving that bastard of an old man. So he runs off to the warehouse where this kid of the op of the old man is being held. Pulls up on them. And they're like, yo, they're talking to each other. They're like, yo, I don't care if the boss is asleep. Let's just murk this kid and take him out. Like, I know what we got to do. And Moon Knight pulls up and is like, I know what's probably going to kill you tonight, bitch. And starts beating the shit out of everybody. And eventually, as he's folding them, walking through them, because, you know, they're bum-ass bitches, he pulls up on the last one. He's like, bro, you tried to kidnap this kid, put him in the dirt for some beef. You're a bitch, all this. Dude surrenders, right? He's like, I don't want no beef. I recognize now you're built different and all that shit. And Moon Knight's like, okay, you know what? You got bitched. All your boys got folded. You saw them get beat the fuck up. I think you're redeemed. I'm not going to beat you up anymore. Like, I'm going to let you go. It's cool, you know, whatever. I'm not as crazy as I used to be. However, a few moments later, he saw the face of the young man, and he saw a massive imprint of a hand. Like, someone had been beating the shit out of the kid. Moon Knight turns around and is like, never mind, bitch. You get folded tonight. And beat the shit out of that guy for putting hands on the kid. And he takes the kid and he's like, come on, buddy. Like, I'm going to get you out of here. We don't have to deal with all this. And they decide to dip. So, Moon Knight takes the kid to the hospital. You know, he's like, all right, you know, I saved the kid. Did a little bit of good to rectify my wrongs. But he's sitting there and he's like, man, I wonder if what that discount Spider-Man said about the Abyss, I wonder if that shit was true. Like, am I tripping? Let me know in the live comments down below if you think Deadpool looks like a discount welfare Spider-Man. That was the belief of Moon Knight. Kind of a solid roast in my opinion. You let me know in the comments. But yeah, he said that shit. He's over here contemplating. being big-brained, when suddenly he gets cheap-shotted by Deadpool. That's right. Deadpool runs up on him from behind, rocks the shit out of him, and he's like, yeah, dumb bitch. I just hit you off guard like you hit me. Sorry about that, bitch. And Deadpool's definitely bringing the energy at the start of this next round, which is lit. Now, Moon Knight starts falling off this big-ass building he was perched up on, because, you know, he be on that fucking Batman shit. And Deadpool's like, yo, look at this bitch falling. This is going to be an easy W. He starts dropping down to meet Moon Knight at the bottom to fight him, because Moon Knight is slowing his fall, does use his gadgets, eventually does slow the fall, lands decently. And Deadpool drops down, like, yo, not gonna lie to you, dog, like that landing was kind of tough, my boy. Like, you're kind of athletic. They start scrapping a bit, but eventually Deadpool, he's still talking his shit, rocks Moon Knight, launching him back, sending him through the front door of a funhouse at a carnival, and proceeding to lead to a big-ass brawl inside that carnival funhouse. Before we continue, smash the like button, of course, if you haven't done it yet, and let me know in the comment section real quick, who do you think will win between these two in this fight to conclude the beef in this story? This is the final battle between the two. Who are you pulling for? Who do you think will win? Let me know in the live chat right now if you haven't read the story, and let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're wrong about the outcome, respond back to your own comment. That'd be pretty funny. But anyways, getting into this. So these two start fighting inside the mirrors of the funhouse, right? And at first, Deadpool's holding the edge. Deadpool's talking his shit. He's like, you're crazy as fuck. You do this, you do that. You're dumb as shit. You keep tripping. All these things. And by the way, something that's pretty interesting in this story, Moon Knight and Deadpool can hear each other's thoughts. Apparently, they're both so crazy, they can hear the several voices between each other that goes on inside their heads. But anyways, returning to this, Moon Knight, Deadpool are fighting. Moon Knight's getting his hits in. Deadpool's getting his hits in. Moon Knight goes for another hit, rocks him, and Deadpool's like, look, bitch, it's like some cute-ass moves you're using, like you're fighting pretty well, but, you know, you clearly didn't read the scouting report. Like, I regenerate, I'm basically unkillable, talking all this wild shit, right? That's when we see Moon Knight go, wait, you said you're unkillable? Like, you won't die if I fuck you up? And then he was like, yeah, I won't die. And Moon Knight proceeds to start beating the shit out of him. I'm talking about, he was fucking up Deadpool so bad, slashing him, brutalizing him so bad that you literally see Deadpool go, uncle, like he was like, dude, stop. Moon Knight beat the shit out of him, left him in literal shreds, in shambles, once he realized he didn't have to hold back on Deadpool because he wasn't going to kill him. So he absolutely manhandled Deadpool once he wasn't holding back. So we see the lady then go to Deadpool later and be like, yo, can you kill the old man? Are you going to finish the job? And he was like, look, dog, ran to the white White Knight guy, Moon Knight, whatever the fuck his name is. That's how, because Deadpool's messed up at this point. And he's like, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for me to try to kill that guy right now. You know, I kind of got my ass beat. Don't really want to do it. And to be honest, I'm indisposed. And we see his body, and it's shredded. Like, looks like it just all recently got stitched back together. Like, Moon Knight clearly beat the shit out of him. So she's like, all right, whatever. This lady decides to infiltrate the hospital, handle it herself. She poses as a nurse, gets inside the hospital, and gets inside the old man's room, right? And she starts talking her shit. She's like, you ruined my life, killed a loved one. I just want you to know that I folded you, bitch. Like, I came back. I got revenge for my people. Fuck you. You got styled on, bitch. She's saying, basically turned into an Xbox Live party. Like, it was brutal. She was talking her shit. And she kills the old man, poisons him, sticks a needle in him, and he's killed. And we see that Moon Knight was outside the hospital window, where this death occurred, and he refused to step in and decided to let the old man die while he didn't kill him. He agreed. This time, that old man had to go. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of The Beef. So, for part 1 of Moon Knight vs. Deadpool, hopefully we get a part 2 if we hit the like goal. I found this beef interesting. Didn't expect Moon Knight to beat the shit out of Deadpool, but he did. In this beef, I felt myself more so siding with Deadpool throughout the exchange. Like, I thought Deadpool was in the right, but Moon Knight ends up clutching the W and winning the dispute between these two in part 1 and in this story in the comics. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the new series. Let me know what you want to see in the new series, like which beefs you want to see covered. And more importantly, if you want to actually just go ahead and make sure a beef you love is covered, hit me up on Discord and go ahead and purchase it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I will see y'all later. Moon Knight takes a W, so Moon Knight fans, clutch the win. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace.